welcome back to this week's Mobility and Stability at a new time now for the month of November. So I'll be teaching at 4:30 for the entire month. So hopefully you're still able to join me. So for today's Mobility and Stability, all you would need is an exercise ball if you do have one. So something like this. If not, a pillow would work fine too, just something to balance our feet. A mat too for comfort if you'd like. If not, you could do this on the floor as well. It depends on what type of floor you're using, I guess. So we'll start with a warm-up. We have 3 movements today. Again, focusing a lot more on stability versus mobility like in the past. So some new movements today. So we'll get started with our warm-up. Okay, so we're going to start with high kicks. So have your opposite arm out, and then you're just going to kick your leg straight up. So try not to bring your hand to your foot. Kick as high as you possibly can. If you need the balance, you can use a wall or a chair for support. I've shown that in my later videos. So we're going to do about 3 more on this leg. Okay, and now we're going to switch legs, same thing. More. Okay, we're going to do our standing calf raises, one of my favorites. If you follow along with me often, you'll notice I do these quite frequently. Heel on the ground, toe pointing towards the sky, and then giving a swipe, coming up into a circle. We're going to do 8 per side. So again, I said this, but nice and slow on this, okay? So this is a dynamic stretch. It's not meant to be done super quick. Deep breaths. Two more on this leg. Last one. Okay. Switching legs, same thing. Heel on the ground, toe pointing towards the sky. Deep breaths again. Go as slow as what you're comfortable with. Halfway there. Two left. Last one. Okay. This one I call just climbing over the fence. So you're going to have both feet on the ground, extend one leg up, open your hip, and then flat on the ground. Okay? We're going to do 8 per side. Last one. Okay, switching sides. Halfway. Getting a little single leg balancing on this. One more. Okay, back to the starting leg. We're just going to go the opposite way. Halfway there. Keep your core tight. It'll definitely help with the stability in this movement. One more. Okay, switching sides. Two left. Last one. Okay. So for the last one, we're just going to do arm circles. So starting nice and small, gradually getting bigger, until we've almost achieved a full range of motion. Okay, and then we're going to start nice and slow backwards. Gradually get bigger. Eventually achieving a full range of motion. Okay, so that concludes our warm-up. If you want, grab some water before we start our first movement. So for this first movement, you would need the exercise ball or a pillow, or anything that you can balance on the top of your feet. You won't be stepping on anything, so don't worry about ruining a pillow. Okay, so like I said, optional to use a mat is definitely more comfortable, so it's up to you. So, we're going to do a crunch variation. If you have an exercise ball, great. If not, rest a pillow exactly where I'm resting the exercise ball. Your arms can come out to the side, but palm up so you're not pushing yourself. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to extend our legs forward until they're straight but hovering on the ground, and then bringing them right back to 90 without letting this fall, okay? So whether it be a pillow or an exercise ball, make sure that you don't let it fall off the feet, okay? So we're going to start in 3, 2, and 1. You should keep your core tight. We're going to 10. Halfway. Two more. Last one. Okay. We're going to incorporate some light stretching into this as well. Put your paw off to the side, or your pillow, whatever you're using. We're going to do some hip openers. So we did this one in our last video, but feet together like a butterfly. Wherever you're comfortable, then you're going to extend your arms overhead. If you want, you can adjust to bring your feet in closer, and then we're just going to hold this position for about 30 seconds. Deep breaths. Allow your knees to fall weightlessly beside you. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going right back into our second round of our crunches. So again, exercise ball, pillow, or honestly no weight if you find this very difficult. Even body weight's great. So, tucking those knees up, 90 degrees, remember, palms up, so don't press your hands into the ground for support. You're going to extend your legs straight out, and then back in. So we got 9 more to go. Halfway. Two more. Last one. Okay. So again, put your pillow, ball, if you're using weight, off to the side. We're going to go right back into that hip opener again. Hopefully my ball is going way out of you. So butterfly position, and then arms overhead. Just deep breaths. Move your heels in closer if you're more comfortable and you feel your hips are loosening up. If not, just hold wherever you can manage. So deep breaths. this off to the side. And also you can grab some water before we begin the next movement. So the next movement will be a lot more stability. No equipment needed for the next movement. So you can move your mat out of the way if you're using one. Okay, so we're going to do some single leg balancing. I'll start with the beginner movements, and then I'll kind of transition to a little bit harder movements. Pick one that you can manage. So don't try to push yourself. Stability does take time. So you want to be comfortable in a movement before you progress yourself so we can avoid injury, all that kind of stuff. So the first one we're going to do is just simply balancing on one leg. So if you start in this position and you're super comfortable, you're not wobbling all around, great. So we'll hold this for about 30 seconds. Okay, we're about halfway through. Try closing your eyes. It might make it a little harder. Definitely harder for me. It's crazy how much that can change. So hand placement on this doesn't really matter. It could be on your hips, your chest. Find what works for you. Okay? So if you're comfortable with that, we're going to switch sides. So same thing. I'm going to give you a pre-warning. Had a few knee surgeries on this side, so I'm a lot more wobbly, as you can tell. So if you can hold this comfortably, great. Feel free to try the eyes closed if you want. I know I'm going to fall if I try it, so I'm going to just stick with my eyes open and knee in front of me. So again, gauge where you want your hands on this. They could be off to the side, on your chest, all on your hips, whatever you prefer, okay? So we've given this side about 30. So that's a beginner movement. So if that was hard for you, stick with that for the next couple. We're going to keep transitioning back between the legs, and I'm going to move on to a different type of single leg stability. So on the one leg, you're going to extend yourself back. Okay, so I'll do this slightly sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, almost into a single leg deadlift, and then we'll hold this position here, okay? Make sure you're breathing. Keep your core tight. Okay, so switching sides, exact same thing on the other side, okay? So if you need to touch your foot to the ground, you're experiencing some ankle instability, try to just tap your foot behind you and then regain your position. Try to get as low as you possibly can. So right now my goal is to have my back in line with my legs. I'm not quite achieving it because I have less stability on this knee. Okay, so an even further progression for this, so give it a shot, let's see how it looks. So progressing on to that whole single leg extension, what it's going to look like, you're going to come straight down. You're going to try to touch your toe and hold from here. Deep breath, keep your core tight. 3, 2, and 1. Switching legs, same thing on the opposite side, okay? Coming down for your toe. I'm going to aim for 20 seconds. We're about halfway there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so some good progressions here. So I encourage you to keep trying this. Think about it like this. You're on one foot for 90% of the time when you're walking, because if you think about it, you're taking a step and you're always balancing on one foot, right? So if we work on that stability, our everyday life's going to get a little bit better. If you have an injury like myself, try to spend a little bit more time on that side to fix an overcompensation. So for me, as you can tell, I'm a lot more unstable on my left side, so I do spend significantly more time working on that. And that would be the same thing for an upper body imbalance, all of that in between. So if you want, grab some water, and we're going to try a stability of your choice for 30 seconds per leg. Okay, so choose what you'd like. I'm going to do the medium modification with just a straight leg. Okay, so we'll start 3, 2, and 1. We're about halfway. 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides. About halfway. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. From here, give yourself about a 20-second break. We are going to go into some hamstring lockouts. We've never done those before. Show you what it looks like. You can do this with or without a mat. Personally, I just find I slide a lot when I use the mat, so I'm just going to do it on the ground. Again, personal preference, you could use the mat. Okay, so for this one here, you're going to be up into a glute bridge. Okay, so try to get your hips as high as you possibly can off the ground, okay? So in this starting position, you're going to walk yourself out almost into a straight leg, and then step back in, while keeping your hips up, okay? So try not to allow your bum to touch the ground. Hips up, aim to take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, okay? So I'll let you guys get situated, and then we're gonna start. Our goal is to do 8 of these, okay? Starting in 3, 2, and 1. I'm sliding quite a bit without the mat, so I do apologize. Should not have worn a sweater. Two left. Last one. Okay, give yourself a little bit of a break here. We're keeping up with the hip mobility today. So coming right back into that laying butterfly position. Hands overhead for our recovery. Holding this position for 30 seconds. Okay, so in 3, 2, and 1, we'll come back to our walkouts. We're going to do 8 more. Hips to the sky. Allow 1 to 2 steps out, and 1 step back in. So your legs need to hover, so keep that in mind, okay? So try not to allow your knees to touch the ground. You will lose your hip brace at the bottom, so notice how I'm always resetting my hips. Two left. Okay, coming back to our recovery position. Arms overhead. overhead, coming into a butterfly. Remember, adjust your heels as necessary. Your hips have probably warmed up to this point, so stop wherever's comfortable. Have the arms overhead. Deep breaths. Do 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you want, feel free to grab some water. We are going to go into some on the floor stretching. If you want, you can use the mat. I'm just going to continue without one on the floor here. I'm pretty comfortable. So we're going to do a seated or laying down glute stretch. So you're going to come down. Your knees are going to be bent, okay? There's 2 parts to the stretch. I might turn slightly this way so you can see. So bring your one foot on top of your knee. Try to have your legs straight. If you're experiencing extreme tightness in this position, stop here. That's going to be a good enough stretch for you, okay? If you're pretty mobile, you feel like you're not getting a good stretch, reach under your leg and you're actually going to pull your knee towards your body, okay? This is actually stretching out our glutes. So you should feel a good pull in your bum here. Or if you're very tight, you might also feel this in your IT bands. So, whichever variation you choose, we're going to hold this for about 15 seconds. So deep breaths. If you're more comfortable, you can pull even closer towards your body. I am pretty tight, so this is as far as I can get my stretch. So in 3, 2, and 1. We're switching legs, okay? So again, you might have a difference in your flexibility in legs. So you might have been able to pull on the one side and not the other. So just keep that in mind. So remember, this is the starting position. If you want more of a stretch, pull your leg closer into your body. And then we'll hold this position here for about 15 seconds, okay? So deep breaths. Like I said, you can always pull closer into your body for a deeper stretch. So we're releasing this in 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. From here, staying on our back, we're going to straighten one leg, and then we're going to point our toes. So notice how my toes are pointing towards the sky. I'm in flexion. The goal is to pull your leg towards your body, and you're going to get a good stretch in your hamstring and possibly your calf, depending on how tight you are. Make sure this leg is pressed into the ground, okay? So if this is bent, you're going to get much less out of a stretch, okay? Have this leg flat on the ground, and make sure your bum is pressed into the ground too, so no side pulls or anything like that, okay? The more you flex your toe, the deeper stretch you're going to get. So we'll hold this for 15 more seconds. Deep breaths. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So keeping this leg, we're actually going to grab the knee and we're going to pull into our body, okay? This is working on our hip mobility. If this doesn't feel like much of a stretch, angle your knee slightly off to the side. You're going to get a deeper pull in your hip, okay? And then tuck your knee as close as you can in towards your stomach. And then we'll hold this position for about 20 seconds. Deep breaths in this position. Okay, so we'll release this. We're going to straighten this leg out now, and we're bringing the opposite leg up. So make sure that this leg is pressed as far into the ground as you can get. Flex this toe. So remember, toes shouldn't be pointing towards the sky. They should be pointing as much towards you as you can get. And then keep your knee locked out. So remember, if I have a bend in my knee, I'm not lengthening my hamstring as much as I could be if I had it straight. And we'll hold this for about 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming to the knee tuck. So grabbing over the knee. Remember, pulling into the body. If you don't feel a great stretch, angle your knees slightly out. You're going to get a deeper pull in your hips here, okay? So 15 more seconds in this position. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so that does conclude my mobility and stability for today. If you missed any of this, it's going to be posted to the Facebook page in about 5 minutes. It just takes a little bit to upload. A lot more stability today. If you want some more of this, or you have different ideas of what I can bring to the table, like I said, I'm always open to suggestions, so feel free to leave a comment or send me an email, anything like that. So hopefully everyone enjoys the rest of their Thursday, and then I'll be back next Thursday for mobility and stability again. And also, if you liked my classes, feel free to rewatch them on YouTube. They've all been saved there as well. So it's great to incorporate this into your weekly routine. Okay, have a great day, everyone, and then I will see you next week.